Oh no, you're an idiot. Whatever. I see you, Charmaine Champagne. What's up, Charmaine? And looks like you're my moderator. Betsy, I'm glad you're here because I want to talk about the Charlize Theron thing. Thank you for answering the call. Appreciate the sister. Ronaldo, I'm so glad to see you, brother. I loved the comment that you left on the video that I did. Um, Let me look at it. You know which one I'm talking about. Um, but why I loved it, Ronaldo, it crystallized. I needed that at that moment, man. I needed it. It let me know that you took the full breath of what I was saying in the video. You felt me. You know, I know I was very emotional in the video and all that, but I know that you were listening down. I could tell that from your words. And thank you for the validation. Thank you for listening, caring, hearing, receiving. And I'm glad you were affected by and are affected by my work. I love you for that. Thank you so much. K.R. Watkins, the investigator. I love you so much, girl. And you know what, KR? Remind me because I I said to you some time back, I saw something on your blog and I was like, I want to do a video about that. I just remember how it hit me. I didn't read it. I don't remember reading the whole thing or anything like that, but it hit me and I mentioned it. What was that? And remind me and maybe send me a link. But shout out to you, KR Watkins. What are you saying? And yes, I was messing with you about on the last few videos. I love it though, KR. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right in my wheelhouse of humor. I love that. Don't stop. Uh, um, and because you guys know, you'll know, like, if you guys that have Skype with me and stuff like that, y'all know that I reveal everything. But publicly, in the work, I never tell where I live. I don't tell my age. I don't say my real name. Um, I don't, there's a lot of things that I don't, just because you'll remember, and especially UKR, and a lot of you guys have been around since forever with me. And y'all know that those are just security measures that I put in place, not out of fear, because I'm ready for anybody that's going to strike, but it just felt smart for me to put some things in place. And especially when I was at my zenith, when I was at 4.5 million viewers on the channel, 23,000 subscribers, 2,000 videos, etc., etc. Like I even used to consult with my sister, uh, the mother of the prince, before I would even put him on camera, or mention him by name or anything, just doing my jurisprudence, Um, but so I love that, KR. I love it. I love it. And you picked up on it because you notice I've been doing that forever. I'll say something and I'll be like, well, because I'm only 19, so I don't even know. So, and I'll move on to I'll move on to something else. Just being shady, just being shady and being me. I am going to try to keep this a little short, you guys, because I'm aware of the time all across the country. I'm actually on the Arctic vortex, so I don't know what time zones people are in and stuff, so that's not something I would get into, being at the Arctic vortex. Very cold up here. Very cold in the Arctic vortex. Um, um, and but I will say this, but in every other way, I have put myself completely forward, absolutely. Even when I've done driving videos, I have to make sure the camera's at a certain angle and certain things, so that I don't reveal that I'm in the Arctic vortex. So it's what you do. You do what you can. And one other thing I want to say, Reynaldo, to you, because you know a lot of my support in every way comes from my women, you know. And so I always love it when any of the brothers step forward and just, give me the what's up. Um, I love that. I appreciate that. I mean, I know my brothers support me, but a lot of times as men, we are a few words and things like that. Our women are usually more expressive and things like that. So that's the other thing that made that valuable for me. So I deeply appreciate that. Deeply. Um, so as I say, my intention is to keep this short. I wasn't going to, because I said I was going to do it on Saturday, and then I pushed it to Sunday. Well, Friday I was going to do it, and then I said I pushed it to Saturday, and then I pushed it to Sunday. So I it's been a very, very relaxing weekend for me, for the most part. I'm well rested, but I almost didn't want to do this because I didn't want to get out of bed. But I always tell you, we got to get out of. Some things aren't either or. Some things can be both and. So I can still do the live stream and keep my word, and I can still be in my favorite place on earth, my bed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy and everyone who voted. So we're not going to really wait on population. I'll just remind everybody that's in to thumbs up the live stream. Even those of you who might be watching who are not in the room, y'all need to thumbs up the live stream. I need that from you. I also need you to share out the link so that people know that we're here. All right. But Betsy had brought, because you remember I mentioned to you guys that I wanted you to put forth uh, topic ideas for videos going forward. Um, just because I had hit a dead end to some degree, creatively and inspirationally, you know, but mostly inspirationally, because as I always tell you, anytime that I speak, it's because there's an inspiration. It's not ever like I have to do this many videos a week or this many videos a month. I'm not on that. None of that matters to me. It has to I have to be inspired, you know, and inspiration can come from many sources, but I must be inspired, and then it must be, that's the first criterion. Then the next thing is I must have something to offer or add to that topic that is not going to be said or hasn't been said, or that I know my contribution will be of value, you know, and that it will leave you with something else on that. You will be more enriched when the video ends than you were before it began, you know. And so I just was kind of at a point where I was like, okay, I don't really know what else I want to talk about. I'm not really feeling inspired. Let me ask the troops, what do you guys want me to talk about? You know? And so it's an opportunity there too, because maybe I at your request, maybe I would maybe deal with something I probably normally wouldn't deal with, or something like this, you know, like, because like I say, uh, Betsy presented, um, this idea about this Charlize Theron thing, and I thought that'd be a great place to start. Um, let's see, how do I set up? I do, oh, okay. First I go like this, and then I do this, and I can check it on my phone to see that everything is as it should be. Perfect. Now, okay, but I'm on the wrong thing. So that's fine. Then I need to do that, and then I need to do this. That should set us up. Are we there? And we're there. Perfect. Now, so Betsy presented this. Now I knew, I heard somewhere, like she was on the list of people that I just kind of knew about the Black Baby thing. You know, Madonna and some other people, Sandra Bullock, I think, and there's just some people that have African babies. You see what I'm saying? I knew she was one of them. She's one of the few white actresses that I don't really hate. I don't like her, but I don't dislike her either. In fact, I think she's the one that did that role in that piece called Monster. It was a real story about this white lady who had killed boyfriends or Johns or something like that. And she did a fantastic job. Like she's a glamour girl. So for her to transform, because this lady that she played was the breaks. Anyway, she did a good job. She really did a fantastic job. I mean, I can't hate. Damn it. I said it. But anyways, um, you know what I can do? I can be indulgent, y'all. Shout out to Anjanae23. So I can now do this also. A lot of technology going on. Um, but anyway, oh Naomi. Okay, that's not what we're focusing on, Jedi. So I need to bear with me, y'all. I have to see it in my mind before I execute stuff, you know. But but like I said, I want to know what that is because there was something on your blog. It's been a while, you know. Maybe you don't even remember, but I remember. Um, this way when I'm in this, because now I can only see the article. This way I can see what y'all see, and I can also look at the chat so that I can be speaking to you when as I'm going through this. Apparently now she, and of course I haven't read it. I pulled several pieces and I just landed on one. You know. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Um, this also calls to mind something also that I learned recently with you guys, because my nephew sometime back had turned me on to this kid, this Nas X, this little black kid that's a country singer, and there was some dust up and brouhaha over him because they weren't trying to play his music on country stations because he's African. Well, I saw a few weeks ago where they had this non-story that they were inferring, they're asking if from the lyric, is he saying that he's gay? But what's striking about the story is when I read the article, it was such a reach. It was literally trying to go and find something that could possibly be, is this what he's saying? And it wasn't at all. But more than that, knowing entertainment the way that I do, and knowing this enemy the way that I do, I know what this was really about. It was about buzz. You see, it was about buzz. Because after the dust up with the song and Billy Ray Cyrus and how do we give him buzz? Quick, let's do an insinuation of gay. That's what it was about. It's just about getting more eyeballs on this dude. It was so like tacky and like I can't. Okay, why am I not seeing the chat? What's going on? What's happening? And there are commercials running on the video. And when I finish and I see, the video or the what do you call it? The video manager on the channel, it'll have a yellow thing saying not advertiser friendly, but you're running ads on the bitch right now. You see, it's I can't, y'all. Now I can't. Why am I not seeing the chat? I'm supposed to be able to see the chat. All right, I'll just have to check your chat periodically, y'all. All right, so I want to get into this so we can understand what it is, and then we'll discuss it, and then and then there's some other things that we want to move into. Okay, so Charlize Theron. Let me enlarge this so we can all read. Charlize Theron. That was the other thing too. Whenever I very first heard her name, I hated it because I'm like, here they go. Like it just sounded made up, and I can't. It just sounded too grand, like Charlize. Hey, I'm sure I was rushed off to the ICU the day that I heard it. They'll have to check my medical records because I can't. I'm not seeing the chat. It's supposed to come up on the screen. Aha! There it is. So how come it's not coming up on this one? So I feel as though I'm being straight disrespected. I'm being disrespected. You feel me? I feel like I'm being disrespected. I told y'all thugs, they do. A lot of times that's that's the biggest word in their vocabulary. Straight disrespected. That's why they say it so articulated. Like, I was straight disrespected. Disrespected. You feel me? So that was straight disrespect. Oh, hello back, KR. Is that my little man? My little 5-year-old? Shout out to J9. Good to see you, sister. Um, okay. J9 is already saying that she treats her black kids like aliens. Okay, we're gonna get into this article. Georgia Bewail, all my love to you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Jay says that she's pushing transgender on her son. Oh, she was born in South Africa, KR. Is that right? Or suggestion, what do you think about family pathology in terms of generational curses or habits? I love that, KR. Yes, that's a good one to talk about. I already have an inspiration the moment I read that from you. Okay, let's get into this, and I will come back to your. I'll just you guys can just do your comments, whatever, and I will just multitask. I'm good. Okay, so Charlize Theron is raising her son as a girl. I'm over it. By the way, y'all never let me know. Can y'all hear me? Okay, is the audio comfortable for you? That's what I'm really looking at. Like, forget just can you hear me? Is it comfortable? Because I hate bad audio. Like, I might be able to hear somebody, but it's not comfortable. So, is this comfortable for you? Let me know that. That's the question. Um. So now, okay. Thank you, Simone, and shout out to you. Thank you, Betsy. Okay, now, and again, this was provoked by Betsy, you guys. She presented this. So Charlize Theron's raising her son as a girl. Why that hurts all of our kids. 24th April 2019 is the date of our article. Nobody is ever surprised to hear that a celebrity has said something crazy. But Academy Award winning actress Charlize Theron's latest announcement manages very effectively to upstage the regular torrent of progressive platitudes emanating from hedonistic Hollywood. She has now told the media that her 7-year-old son Jackson, adopted as a baby in 2012, is actually her daughter. In other words, Jackson is transgender. And we're going to say it like that anytime we say that word here on the channel, because I loved and hated when Joan Rivers used to say it, because she was trying to insinuate that Obama was, or either, I think Michelle was a trans, because somebody asked her, she was walking down the street, and some of the reporters ran up to her, and it was like, do you think we'll ever have a gay president, or she goes, we already have that, it's Obama, everybody knows he's a transgender, so we have to say transgender anytime we say it, just because I love it and hate it. All right, so in other words, Jackson is a transgender. This comes as no surprise to some of the more obsessive observers of Hollywood, who have wondered for years if Theron was raising her son as a girl, fueled by photos of Jackson outfitted in dresses and skirts and sporting long hair and braids. But now she has confirmed that she is raising Jackson as a girl, but asserts that he is as much her daughter as her youngest child, 3-year-old August. This is a problem. Do you understand? I did not know I was going to need my punch this early. I can't. Well, get through it, Jedi. All right. So how did this transformation come about? Well, I thought she was a boy too, Theron told the Daily Mail, until she looked at me when she was 3 years old and said, quote, I'm not a boy. So there you are. So there you go. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Like I said. So let me understand this. I can walk up now to Charlize's home and just knock on the door and say, I'm actually related to you. You should give me a check. Oh, well then, okay, we'll just write the check now. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. And he's 3. Listen, y'all, I have to, before I even go on, I know I'm going to have to say this, and I don't need to wait to say it. Kids don't have rights. You understand? Kids have rights, but kids don't have rights. And I'm very aware and acknowledging of the rights of children. You understand? Even Allah says that the first right of the child, like their rights begin before they're even thought of, before you even have a mate, before you even have anybody you're in love with, or even going to make love to. They have rights. And the first right that they have is that you check for a mate that will be worthy to raise a child. That's the first right of the child. You see? And by default, one of the criterion when you are thinking you're attracted to somebody that you want to marry. All right. So, but I use that to say this. Children have rights, but they don't have rights at 3 years old. You understand? So this is a 3-year-old. This is the same as, I saw a fairy princess. Oh, how cute, honey. And then you move on with life. You understand? Or my teddy bear talks to me. Oh, how cute. And we move on with life. I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Oh, how cute. And we move on with life. Oh my God, I'm not going to get worked up this early. Let me go. Okay, so we'll start back. Until she looked at me when she was 3 years old and said, quote, I'm not a boy. So there you go. I have 2 beautiful daughters who just like my parent, I want to protect and I want to see thrive. Well, they're not mutually exclusive. Yes, you want to protect your child and have them thrive. But that does not mean that they get to proclaim themselves a whole different damn gender. At 3, this child can't even spell pubic hair. Can't even spell it. Can't spell vagina or penis. Has never seen the act of lovemaking. So we just leapfrog past all of that, anatomy and everything. Oh, throw that out. Who needs that? Who needs all that? If we forget she can't tie her shoe at 3 years old, throw that out. Who needs it? If she says she's a transgender, damn, she's a transgender. According to Charlize. Oh my God, I can't. And want to see them thrive. They were born who they are. Well, that's right. They were born who they are, not what they want to be or what they think they are at 3. Because who amongst us remembers when they were 3? I'll wait. Who remembers being 3? Tell me. Who remembers being 3? Hmm? Hmm? Oh, no responses because nobody remembers when they were 3. They were born who they are and exactly where in the world both of them get to find themselves as we grow up. Just a second, let me read it again, I understand it. I want to protect and I want to see them thrive. They were born who they are and exactly where in the world both of them get to find themselves as they grow up, comma. All that without a punctuation. I'll read it again. They were born who they are and exactly where in the world both of them get to find themselves as they grow up, comma. And who they want to be, comma, is not for me to decide. Really? And who they want to be is not for me to decide. Well, it's absolutely for you to decide when they're 3, Charlize. This is some white people stuff, everybody. This just is now. To summarize, a 3-year-old little boy told his mother he is a girl. Despite the facts of biological reality, his mother decided to take the world decide to take the word of a 3-year-old, irrespective of the fact that children quite literally do not understand what they are saying, especially at 3 years old. Thank you. Consider this example related to a grandmother who has a little grandson declaring himself to be a transgender. Okay, that's in blue, so we may have to click on that. We'll come back. 8-year-old Jack Wilson was on a weekend visit to his grandparents' house in mid-December 2016 when he informed his grandmother that his name was really Jacqueline. Eight-year-old, that his name was really Jacqueline. Quote, Grammy, my name is Jacqueline. He complained as he walked into the room and sat down at the kitchen table for lunch. He had just received Christmas presents from friends of his grandmother, addressed to Jack, and was visibly upset. Listen, whether you're 8 or you're 3, if you're mature enough to start proclaiming yourself to be a different gender, then we're going to need you to have your own address. You understand? With your own security and first and last put down on it. We're going to need that. I am. I can't. You guys remember to thumbs up, whether you're in the room or you're not. Remember to thumbs up the video, thumbs up, or like, or however you want to say it, if you like or thumbs up, whichever way you say it. But thumbs up. Shout out to B1 for Life. Thank you for that, my sister. Get on them. Uh, Okay, let me move on. All right. And he's visibly upset. Quote, why is that your name? Amanda Wilson, his grandmother asked in response as she set a plate of chicken and rice in front of him. First of all, you're not getting no chicken and rice. I'm withholding plates until we discuss. You see what I'm saying? And snatch you back into reality. Why is that your name? He replied, because I'm a girl now. Listen, everybody. I always say to my people, as it relates to us rearing children, we must always see the existence or the coming of a child into the world as another chance. Another chance. And to that point, I always say we can build the children that we want them to be. We can make them anything we want. It's glorious if used properly and not recklessly and for foolishness and fantasy stuff. I always hate when I hear people say, okay, I'm getting a little long on this. Let me go on. It's just because I'll come back. All right, fine. Because I'm a girl now. What makes you think you're a girl? She inquired. It's my gender, he said. Now, there's some outside influence going on. This kid didn't just come out with this. This is the manifestation of some influence. Something he's been exposed to. And it's so pervasive now in the society. When did she say he came to her? In 2016. You see, so the society is saturated with this. It's in their cartoons and children's programming even. I can't, dude. Let's go on, and then I will do my tirade. It's my gender, he said. She pressed him. Well, what's a gender? He stared back at her, puzzled, and said, I don't know. Because that's a true answer. Because what I said, at 3 years old, you don't know anything. Or at 8 years old, he doesn't know. He's 8 years old. He still doesn't know anything. You see? So certainly at 3, Charlize, any child proclaiming anything is just child speak. Because the 8-year-old might at least be able to spell gender. 3-year-old can't do it. But here you have the 8-year-old saying when she asked him, well, what's gender? I don't know, says the 8-year-old. Of course he doesn't. It was once generally recognized that parents are supposed to guide their children, to explain reality to them, to help them discern truth. Now the transgender movement is attempting to persuade us that the real task of parents is to listen to children even prior to the generally accepted age of reason, and to respond their assertions, which gain they do not understand, by embarking on a dangerous social experiment often replete with hormone blockers and surgeries that will permanently alter the children and transform the rest of their lives. That's very important. Let's read that section again, everybody. That whole thing is everything. Because and who's writing this is called Life Site. Who's the writer? All right, it's just from Life Site News. But fine, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, Just that they said in this sentence, now the transgender movement is attempting, in other words, the writer seems to be aware that there is an agenda. You understand? Now it says, now the transgender movement is attempting to persuade us that the real task of parents is to listen to children even prior to the age, the generally accepted age of reason, and to respond. I think they meant to their, so I added, and to respond to their assertions, which again, they do not understand, but to respond to their assertions by embarking on a dangerous social experiment, often replete with hormone blockers and surgeries that will permanently alter the children and transfer the rest of their lives. This is child abuse. I could make a very cogent and intellectual case to any magistrate or court, or even a grand jury, quite frankly, that this is child abuse. It's child abuse. All of this, of course, takes place before we countenance allowing them to vote. I love that. That's a good point. So they can proclaim themselves to be a whole different gender at 3 years old, but they can't vote. And alas, they can't even drive a motor vehicle. But you can certainly declare your gender. That's why I tell you, this is the seat of the devil, everybody. The throne of evil, the incubator of all things blasphemous. All of this, of course, takes place before we countenance allowing them to vote, drink, smoke, drive, or do any number of other activities, because we recognize that they are too young to make certain decisions and to know certain things. Charlize Theron, however, has swallowed this new version of parenting, hook, line, and sinker. Quote, my job as a parent is to celebrate them and to love them and to make sure that they have everything they need in order to be what they want to be. Nah, you just got it wrong at the end of it. No, your job is to raise sound children who know right from wrong, who are not thieves, who are not liars, who are respectful to their adults and responsible, etc. Proclamations of gender and even sexuality. I would even go that far. Not just the gender, but sexuality, because this by default connotes sexuality. Because is the child understanding that there's a sexuality that goes along with whatever gender you are? If you can't give me a 500-page thesis on the history of genetics as it relates to, I don't know, embryology, pediatrics, and childbearing, if you can't give me a 500-page thesis on that at 3 years old, then you can't proclaim anything. I'm going to need that. Again, this is so white. My job as a parent is to celebrate them and to love them and to make sure that they have everything they need in order to be what they want to be. Well, I'm glad you said that, Charlize, and I stand corrected, because the next 3-year-old that you have is going to come to you and say they need an AR-15 to shoot up their preschool, and you should celebrate them and help them to be everything they want to be in life. You should do that, Charlize. Huh? And I will do everything in my power for my kids to have that right, and be protected within that. She did not explain what should be done when little children announce that they are unicorns or dogs or any other creature that surfaces during games of make-believe. I love that so much. I love the shadiness in this. I love the sarcastic shade and judging that's going on with this writer. I love this. I love it. 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 Because you guys know how much I love language. And this is a scoop of butter pecan ice cream for me. I can't see anything else other than paradise. We'll pick it up from there. She did not explain, however, what should be done when little children announce that they are unicorns or dogs or any other creature that surfaces during games of make-believe. Presumably, some things are too crazy even for her, even if she has accepted the underlying logical premises. I love it. Theron has long been recognized as one of Hollywood's most prominent LGBTQXYZ LMNOP ABC, I can't, activists. So perhaps this is not entirely surprising. Well, no, that because you can still be an advocate for the alphabet thing and still have some damn common sense and not be an idiot. In 2009, she announced that she wouldn't get married until same-sex marriage was legalized. I can't. What happened? I don't know. I did something on my phone now. She's not getting married until same-sex marriage is legalized. I'm over it. Oh, that's what happened. That's what I was hearing. This phone. I'm over it. But as journalists and celebrities trip over themselves in a rush to declare their support for Theron's decision to raise her son as a daughter based on the declaration of a 3-year-old, we should take a moment to remember that this method of parenting is essentially a declaration of duty and a refusal to teach children about the world, a dereliction of duty, and a refusal to teach children about the world, the way that it is, and to help them navigate that world. Charlize Theron's son will pay the price for that. So will thousands of other children. I love it. I'm glad you brought this, Betsy. I'm glad you brought this. I'm glad you brought this. Because I guess that's the writer. No, it's not the writer. I guess, yeah, Jonathan Van Maren. That's the writer. Yeah, that's who's the writer. Remember I was asking who's the writer. This is the dude. Listen, I can't. You understand? And I'll tell you why. First, let me begin by saying this. You will remember in recent political coverage, I mentioned to you that this Pete Buttigieg person is polling at 0 amongst African people. And there it will stay. Because there are some things that are inherently cultural that are, thank God, they're on autopilot because we have had so much of our culture and way of life hidden and stolen from us. And early on, when you go back to actual chattel slavery, there was a deliberate policy in place to police over us and make sure we weren't practicing certain ways of lives that were normal to us. Nowadays, we are acquiescing a lot of things, just giving up the culture, buying into things that are contrary to what is naturally African. And among them is this whole transgender alphabet, LBG alphabet thing, the gay marriage, the normalization of homosexuality. This is inherently anti-African. Has nothing to do with being homophobic or disliking gay people. This is not that. This is, we don't do this. You see, we don't live in a vacuum. We understand there are gay people in our race. We understand that. But we also acknowledge and observe that this has never been something that we give high attention to or glorify, celebrate, and spotlight. This is why you can walk into any Christian church on a Sunday and half the choir is a bunch of queens and so's the choir director. Everybody knows it, but nobody says it. Nobody says it. You see, because it's inherently anti-African. It just is. And so this is one of those things that has just remained with us in our DNA, even up till now. No matter how much we have individuals who might be gay or they have gay friends, we have gay people in our family. I do. All of that can exist. But at the same time, it can still remain something that the African community as a whole just simply doesn't embrace. You understand? So I said to you, this Pete Buttigieg person would not be getting any black vote. And you can't be elected if you're not in this country for president or anything else if you don't get the black vote. So he's out. He's out. He's out. No hope of him being president. No, won't happen. Won't happen. Won't happen. Won't happen. Move to the next candidate. Because again, there are things that we just don't do. We're not going to the poll and pull the lever for a gay man. We just wouldn't do it. You understand? So this is that. Forget the outrageousness of it being a child proclaiming something of this magnitude. It begins at just you're 3 years old. And in African culture, at 3 years old, you're definitely under a dictatorship. In the black family, we love you. We care about your feelings and all that. That's all in place. But you're not going to be making profound proclamations like this without it being challenged and or completely dismissed. Because you don't even know your ABCs yet. You can't even spell transgender. You probably can't tie your shoe. But moreover, you're not shopping for yourself. So who's going out and buying the clothes, the girl clothes now? It's Charlize. You see, this is a problem. It's a problem. The prophecy from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the main prophecies of the signs of the end times is men will be as women and women will be as men. He also prophesied that the people will be dressed, yet they will be naked. He was saying this 1,500 years ago when there wasn't a bikini. There wasn't spandex and skin tight anything. You understand? We are in these times. This is part of it. When the polluting of procreation is at an all-time level of blasphemy. You must remember, everybody, while sex can be pleasurable, that's a bonus. Allah never intended for intimate relations between a man and a woman to be just for recreation. It is for the purpose of procreation. You understand? So that there should not be any such thing as birth control. And there shouldn't be any such thing as a condom anywhere on the earth. Because the way that Allah ordained is that any male and female coming together is only for the purpose of marriage. That's it. They're coming together for the sake of marriage. You're not supposed to be shacked up, or we're just talking. None of that's supposed to be happening. But it's all pathology. Once you, especially for us as a people, and I'm always ever only talking about us. So when you look at the pathology, the moment we begin to acquiesce and allow our girls to start going out dressed inappropriately, that's the first peg to fall. The next peg to fall is when, oh, you shouldn't spank your children. That's another peg. You understand? Next peg, we stopped demonizing underage sex. Demonizing it. And if you were successful in at least sneaking and having underage sex outside of marriage, if you were successful in that deception, at least you definitely didn't go to the highest blasphemy of having a child. The girl getting pregnant or the dude getting her pregnant. It used to be when you knew if you was a young boy and you were seen hanging real tough with a girl and they knew you liked her and that's kind of your girlfriend, somebody snatched you up and said, you better not get up, don't y'all be doing the nasty. You see, if they suspect that maybe you were and still they couldn't prove it, then they threatened you within an inch of your life, and you knew you definitely don't get her pregnant. You definitely don't do that. That would get you handled. And the female knew the worst thing she could do is become pregnant. Oprah tells the story of when she was an adolescent, a teenager, and she found out she was pregnant. And she wore a coat forever, and she was doing everything to hide and everything because she knew this was the worst thing she could have done. This would bring dishonor to the family. We've gotten away from that, everybody. So then now we start seeing white kids. They can just come out. They can come out. They give you these big emotional stories like Matthew Shepard and the Brandon Tina, and these big emotional stories that are human stories but being used for a bigger agenda. So suddenly you have white kids coming out. Suddenly black kids are coming out. You see, they want to drag you along with the insurrection. I'm trying to illustrate to you, I'm just using a circuitous way of saying to you that this didn't just pop up now suddenly. The transgender thing becomes acceptable and it becomes the norm. And now, oh my God, lo and behold, we have a 3-year-old proclaiming they're transgender. There it is. I just gave you the entire abbreviated cycle of how we arrived at this point. You understand? But our responsibility is always and first to remain African, irrespective of anything that's going on in society. You understand? It's like I tell you about Muslims. We have a way of life. A way of life. And that is before anything and everything. We're going to let anything come between that or acquiesce to something that's outside of that. No, it's not going to happen. And we need to do that same thing as Africans. You understand? Let me look at some of your comments, you guys. I'm yakking away. Oh my God, what do they do? Um, oh my God, I'm turning into my dad with this. Okay, KR. Family pathology in terms of generational curse and habits. I definitely want to deal with that, KR. I love that. I love that. I love it. Let me just get to some of these. Okay, right. About Charlize. I shouted out J9. Um, I shouted out Simone. What is happening? Um, yeah, Simone, I love that. Simone says the whole thing screams experiment. I like your choice of words on that. I love that. J9 said my kid said he was a cat one day and crawled on all fours. You know what? Actually, I can do this. I don't have to be squinting at my phone. So I'm saying I got technology. So I can go here and look at y'all comments. Oh, shout out to Terrence Bowers for shout out to you, Terrence, and thank you so much. Listen, you guys, you know that I'm still on this quest for my GoFundMe for my move to Africa. This brother, every time he comes to the live chat, he throws a couple dollars. Like I said, you don't gotta be wealthy. You understand? I need your help, everybody. I need you. I cannot do this without you. I can't. So, and the link for the GoFundMe is under this is in the description under the video. You can go there and just give $1 at least, everybody. Just at least give $1. At least. This is July something. This is July 14th. The GoFundMe is currently at $3,780. Let's pull it up to 4,000 before the end of the month. Just can we do that? Can we do that? No, that's the wrong question. Not can we, will we? That's the question. Will we do it? Will we do it? Will we do it? Let's see. Uh, oh, I was right there. I said J9 said my kid said he was a cat one day and crawled off on all fours. I'm over it. Yeah. And I love Ronaldo just said they won't just said they just don't let kids be kids. That's so true, man. And you know the ironic thing is when you let children just be children, there's so much you learn from them. I love when I'm around pure children that haven't been polluted. I love that because there is wisdom there. Wisdom, y'all. Wisdom. 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 Get around an unpolluted child or some unpolluted children. You won't be able to pull yourself away from them. They're some of my greatest teachers. You know? SubhanAllah. Um, um, and sorry, B1. I knew that. I knew I messed up when I said it. Sorry, brother. I knew it. Shout out to Timothy Nachuta. Says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that in the last days, women will be as men and men will be as women. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Um, Shout out to Anjane23. Is that Anjane? Yes, thank you for your donation, Anjane. Thank you, my sister. And you definitely don't have it to do. You understand? And that's what I say, you guys. There's people that have donated multiple times. They shouldn't have to. Thank God they have, but they shouldn't have to. I need the rest of you guys to find 4 quarters and go to that GoFundMe and hit it. Uh, Learn behavior. J9, absolutely right. And you teach the children. I love that so much. Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you so much right now. I love that. That's right, the children. I'm saying. Um, Shout out to L Light, Mika Baggate. Baggate. Good to see you, Mika. I hope you ain't got to leave and go to work. Or you better not be at work. But shout out to Mika Baggate. L Light says, this being solely my opinion, but this is why I feel no one person is born being gay. It is a choice made by the individual. And usually that choice is made from negative experiences and influences. Interesting, L Light. You know, I waft on that because I have gay people in my family and I know they were born that way. And you just have to know my family and how you just have to know my family, you know. Like, you know, we were very sheltered growing up, you know. And I just I think this L Light. I think that people are born gay. But I don't think it's an either or proposition. I think it's a both and. And here's why. We know that this society is the devil. It is created by the devil. We know that they have a way to effeminize even in lab rats. I touched on this even again when I did the Monsanto video about the GMO foods. You know, that these chemicals make the male rats produce testosterone, and you know, they begin to develop breasts, and therefore they had higher incidences of breast cancer in the rats and so forth. So we know that they are the ones who unleashed AIDS upon the earth. This does not come out of nature. We know that they unleashed Ebola. You understand? So I think it's a both and, L. I think that it would be easier for us to agree that they're born that way, maybe not by the assignment of Allah, but by the interference of man. I'd like to know your response on that. Because we've seen an escalation of vaccines, and we don't know what the hell they do. You also have chemtrails being sprayed over communities. Prince spoke about this on the Tavis Smiley show quite some time before he was murdered. Might be one of the reasons why he was murdered. I think that there's an interjection that's happening at the biological level with the fetus, or maybe the mother pre-fetus or pre-embryo. I'm sorry. It could be both and. They're doing something to the mother, and it's in her, and when she has the child, poof, there it is. Or they're doing something at the embryonic level. But I believe they come forth that way. Whether that is from the divine or from man, we can talk about. But they come forth gay. I believe that. I believe that. And then I would take it a step further. Because if they have a relationship with the divine, and they have access to his true revelation, the Quran, they begin to understand, at the very least, this is something they should control. You understand? So there's a remedy either way we look at it. You see, there's a remedy. There's a remedy. There's a remedy. You know, there's a remedy. Shout out to Melody H. Is that Melody Hill? Did you just shorten it to an H, or is that a different Melody? I can't see your thumbnail that well. Shout out to Melody. Let me know what you guys thought about that whole dissertation I just did too. Yeah, all right. And remember, there's no wrong answers here, everybody. There's no wrong answers. Whatever you think and feel, that's we want to talk about it. Shout out to T. I just call you T. Oh, Nekuta. Nikuta. Okay. Thanks, Timothy. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. But that's interesting. Now I want you to tell me, because I'm just curious, how would anyone know that without your dissertation? J9 brings a good point. Chemistry, even milk is pure hormones. That's so true. They're doing a lot of things with milk and eggs too, I would add to J9. Anjane says a lot of gay people that she knows were molested during their childhood. I used to be of the thinking, at least was ready to buy into that to some degree, but there has been much empirical uh, data gathering that one does not equal the other one, though, Anjane. That, because girls that are molested don't become lesbian, boys that are molested don't become gay. They're separate and apart. You know, if they whatever, however we agree that they became gay, either through creation or intervention, the uh, the child abuse, the molestation, is separate and apart from that. Although I would offer that it can allow a crossroad of confusion when that child goes through puberty and they're starting to have feelings of attraction and things like that. It may mess them up a little bit, like, oh wait, should I, because remember, even Oprah, who we cannot stand, but she brought a good point when she was interviewing the two liars that were there lying on Michael Jackson. She was saying, as she said many times about sexual abuse, she was saying to the victim, it feels good. Like, it feels good physically. And that's where some of the guilt can come from, from the victims and so forth and so on. All right, fine. Okay, T, let's talk. I'm trying to understand how the kids are able to take on whatever identity / gender that they desire by age 3, it seems, and with a gender fluid LJS in the Jedi voice. I don't get the, what is the LJS, T? Um, Ronaldo says, I'm confused about that. I have a neighbor that are triplets. 2 of them are straight and 1 is gay. That's a good point. Yeah, because we've known people that they're a twin and 1 is gay and 1 is not. Like, you know, what is that? And I think that goes to my uh, hypothesis that I was laying out, that we can look into whether or not it's creation or intervention, at the embryo level or pre-embryo, and I think that even having twins or triplets or quadruplets or whatever, and having some of them have one sexual assignment and the other one being something else, But then again, we look at nature, but I always tell you, nature is not for decoration, it's for information. So Allah is showing us in creation, I create male and I create female. That's what I do. That He shows us. This is what I do. I think that's the answer. Before we even get to my hierarchy hypothesis and all that, J9, I know a black male pediatrician against soy products for male babies. That's so true, Jay, and I'm glad you bring that, because soy is, I'm not going to get to a long dissertation, but yes, soy is definitely a culprit. I'll just say that. Soy is a problem, everybody. Uh, okay, thanks, Melody. Uh, L says, I too agree that vaccines and medicines used internationally or intentionally as a feminism weapon to try and make our young black men weak, or with hopes of doing so. I believe that. I'm willing to believe any evil that's possible from this devil. If there's an evil act that's possible, I'm willing to believe they do it, because they've shown us there's no evil they won't, you know, articulate. Melody says, I think people are born gay, but I don't like speaking on it because I'm not gay. Well, you can still speak on it, Melody. Um, we have a right to speak on it. We just do. We live in a society that's being thrown at us and saturated upon us. We're entitled to have an opinion about it. You know. Simone says, I believe it's both genetics and environment. That can be true too, because let's say you have a child that's born straight. They're just a child. They're just a baby. Boom, they pop out of the womb and they're in an environment of just, they become their environment. I just seen a clip on Twitter the other day where this little boy, apparently him and his mom are having lunch. And he was saying, I think it was some celebrity. He's like, that's my girl. That's my girl. I'm telling you, boy. That's my girl. I put that on my life. He's probably still wearing at least pull-up diapers. Set your little ass down. Set your pissy ass down. Set. You see, but he has all the authority of a teenager or something, because that tells me exactly who he's around. So atmospherics can be an issue. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. This is how you be. And then that plays into how you come up with such a long spectrum of sexuality. Suddenly, it's become so confused and such a long spectrum because man has done that. Sexuality is straightforward, as is gender. You see, but everything has been polluted. Everything. Allah says that which is wicked will seem normal to them. It's just normal. It's just normal. Yes, J9, definitely a spike in autism due to vaccines. No question. No question. No question. No question. No question. I want to go back to something KR was saying, you guys. We can still talk about this. Like I said, whatever. It's just open. It's open. I'm just purposely go back to KR was saying, what do you think about family pathology in terms of generational curses and habits? It's perfect to pick that up right now because of what I just said about the little kid. We'll speak to habits and curses. Speak to curses first because I think I can dispense of that easily. First of all, give me an example of what you would articulate as a curse, a generational curse, KR. And while you do that, I'll start to talk about habits. Habits are generational. You are the atmosphere that you grow up in. So much of who I am in my habits, just day-to-day habits of mine, come directly from my father. No question. And I'm able to see it. I see it. The video that I did recently where I was crying all through the video, that was an emotional video for me, y'all. I hope you felt that and really understood. That's what I was talking to Ronaldo about at the beginning of this stream. But anyways, that whole video is my dad. I look just like him through that video. Like my dad is doing a YouTube video. But I notice physical gestures, things that I do, is from him. It's from him. It's from him, you know. So yes, habits are definitely generational. because of the atmospherics. Do some things manifest? No. I think if I was never around my father ever, how would I be able to imitate him or mimic him? I think there'd be a limited spectrum of things that would manifest themselves for me that would be so much like him. You know, if I grew up around white people, I was adopted into a white family, I would be a different person. You know, Tommy Davidson from In Living Color, who also bought me a bean pie one day. Thank you very much. Um, he was adopted by a white family, but I don't know how much black experience he had before this white family. You know, because Tommy comes off as a brother to me. You know, and without that revelation, I wouldn't have any way to know that he's just a brother. You know, here at the end, in my view. So, um, so yes, habits can be generational. Like my uncle, before my father, my uncle, he was in World War II and all that stuff. He was a hermit. He was a hermit. He was content to be in his room. We just knew Uncle Buddy was in the room. And I was I don't think I was born yet. I was so young and stuff. And stuff. Put the calculator away, KR. But he was a hermit. My father was a hermit. You know, when my father didn't have anything to do, he didn't have anything on his schedule, he's a hermit. I'm the same way. I'm a hermit. I'm a hermit. I'm a hermit. I'm totally content with just self. It don't take a whole lot at all to entertain me and keep me content. I'm good. I'm a hermit. I'm definitely a hermit. So that's generational, you know. But you got to tell me what you're talking about with curses, though, KR. I'd love to know that. And thank you, Melody, for your $1. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, everybody. It just 4 quarters. You know, you can put it on the GoFundMe. You can just put it directly on the GoFundMe if you like. You know, the link is in the description box under the video. And I'll even put it in the chat. Paste, I hope. Okay, there's the link. I'll do it again. So if it jumps, you know it didn't get past you. I'll do it one more time. That's the link for the GoFundMe, everybody. And if you're somebody that doesn't know about the GoFundMe and you're new, there's a whole write-up there for you explaining what this is about. There's a video where I'm speaking directly to you. At least $1. Shout out to Frank Cardona, who gets on my last nerve. What's up, Frank? Good to see you, brother. Frank is saying that he thinks she might have been a cursed bloodline, but what does that mean? To clarify, Jedi, you feel an individual can be born gay due to the medicines given by doctors to the mother before birth, along with scientific environmental experiments, and not by God's nature. No, I'm saying I'm leaving both open because I know I have nephews and nieces that are gay, and I know that's how they were born. I'm clear about that. My question, L, what I'm offering up to be questioned is, did they come this way by creation from the divine, or was there intervention by this devil? That's the only thing I'm in question about. I know the manifestation. I know, I know, I know. You know, like one of my nieces, she's an only child, and she's gay. My brother is her father. So I know what her influences were, the type of things she was exposed to and not exposed to, etc. You know, I know what her upbringing and all that stuff was. You see, so that I know she was born that way. I know it. I just don't know how. You see, but I never. Here's what I am clear about. I never say to or about gay people, well, it's your choice. You're choosing. I never say that, because to me that's a step too far for me. You know, so if somebody else wants to do that, that's fine. I never go that far. That's too arrogant for me. It's your choice. You chose it. You know, because for those of us that are straight, we can't imagine not being straight. So if somebody was standing in your face saying, you're choosing to be straight, we would feel some type of way. So I never go that far. I never go that far. Like, for me, in my experience with my family members and people I know, they were born that way. They didn't choose it. They didn't choose it. You know, we can discuss of whether or not now that once they get to a certain age, they're old enough to understand who they are and all that stuff, that they're able to either act on it or embrace it and all that stuff. That's another conversation. But I absolutely believe when that child comes from the womb that that's part of them. I believe that. I believe it. I believe it. Um, I hear you, Frank, on the ancestors and the parents have done evil. I I don't know. Jedi, I feel you. I never looked at it from that perspective. I'm willing to say it is to do it it is due to the influences of Lucifer. But here's what is a choice: the promoting of it now in the society. Because I think whether it is science and this devil or whether it's divine, it should be private. That's between you and Allah and whoever you're sleeping with, which you shouldn't be sleeping with anybody outside of marriage. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. Like, that's just etched in stone, period. But I feel as though it it's promoted, it's made public. It's a thing now where gay people are supposed to come out and we're supposed to celebrate them coming out. I don't give a damn who the fuck you sleep with. Like, why are you telling me this? Does it come with a check Why do I need to know? Why are you telling me? What do you want from me that you would tell me this? That's the part that itches my ass, y'all. Now that's when I get worked up. That's when I get worked up. That's when I get worked up. Because why are you telling me this? You know, it's a promoting, you see. And in my mind, I'm clear that the whole reason for the uh, promotion of this whole gay, transgender, and all the other list of stuff they've added to it is just to create another group whose suffrage is supposed to be equal to African people. You understand? In fact, I want you to hear something perfect. Allahu Akbar. What is it? Let me find it. Because this says what I think about what in relation to what I just said. Let's see, approved. Um, all right. Now, hopefully you guys are all going to be able to hear this. All right, I'm going to play this video for you. This short clip. And then I'll come back to your comments. But let us all behold this video. Okay. Let me double check it that this is approved for use. Y'all see it right there. Reuse allowed. We all see it. No start, none, won't be none. Now, let us hear this.
The place that I was at, it was like a very nice place,
I need you guys to check in and let me know, can you hear it?
but it was new, and so they were not up to speed, so they didn't have entertainment. Like the
Can y'all hear it?
views, the whole thing was beautiful, and because I was only trying, they
Check in.
the place that I was at, it was like a very nice place, but it was new. And so they were not up to speed, so they didn't have entertainment. Like the views, the whole thing was beautiful, and because I was only
Melody is telling me she can hear it. Can everybody else hear it? Because if not, I have another way I can play it.
trying to chill,
Right.
then I didn't have a problem.
Right.
But if I was going to get my kick it on, it was dead as a doornail. But I'm here to tell you,
Wherever you were was party.
but what they said was it was actually built as condos. So like the place I stayed had a full kitchen.
Oh, that's what I
Where
do.
is it?
That's what I do.
I just didn't go shopping because I mean I had all of. How y'all doing a live series, um, live speaking. Antonio,
I'm not satisfied at the volume level.
wake up everybody.
Okay, let me deal with this a little bit more. in depth, y'all, because um, there's I'm not hearing what I was thinking I'd be hearing.
No more sleeping in
Wait.
us. Surely things will work out. In the corner and in a cloud of dust, I see the pitcher knocked off the mound. He got gangster in the background. Anybody remember Nextels? Do y'all remember? Trying to get close. Okay. I'm just get close because I got questions. I got other stuff. I always want to see like what is it like for the person like you had it all. About how far we've come in a lifetime. If he, Bill Clinton used to be the first black president.
I know what I need to do. Subhanallah. Uh,
See, little class. The bill number, and then
okay. The Jedi is ready.
did you see that in Illinois lawmakers have advanced a bill?
Okay, here we go, everybody.
Did you see that in Illinois lawmakers have advanced a bill requiring teachers to teach LGBT history?
Like Black History?
Here's what it is. The proposal would mandate that elementary and high schools elementary and high schools teach a unit studying the role and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in the history of this country and this state.
It's pretty much modeled after.
We're going to hear it again. Okay, perfect. All right, hear this now, everybody.
Did you see that in Illinois lawmakers have advanced a bill requiring teachers to teach LGBT history?
Like Black History?
Here's what it is. The proposal would mandate that elementary and high schools teach.
Think about this.
That elementary and high schools teach a unit studying the role and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in the history of this country and this state.
Think about that. How about mandatory? They should be teaching the Middle Passage. How about that? Just for starters. You see? Oh, this is a problem. This is a problem. This is the promoting, everybody. So then you're going to have more and more 8-year-olds coming home making these proclamations of gender that they can't even spell. You understand? Allah has taken care of the natural cycle of sexuality for the human being, just as he has for the animals. You understand? Listen, there are 9 children total. I'm the last child from my mother. And there are 3 other boys. One of them passed away. So we'll just say my 2 older brothers. One of my brothers left home early on when I was younger, all right? But my brother, my other brother, who's not the next sibling, but he's the next boy, he's 7 years older than me. And then, of course, you have my father. Nobody ever sat me down and told me this is what you do. But I knew what I was doing. You understand? When I finally got my shot, I know how to break a back. You understand? It comes natural. You will know. You will know. I bring that because there is no need for any of this nonsense. Because out the gate, it's illegitimate. Why do we need to know somebody's sexuality or their sexual identity and all this shit? Why is it this important that we need to be taught in a school? Why? That's right up there with giving your social security number. This is a problem, you understand? But it's also specious and it's evil. Hold on, I want to switch back for a second, you guys. And I also want to check the time and make a declaration of when we're going to be done. We're not going anymore. It'll probably be less, but we're definitely not going to go over 30 more minutes. Does that sound cool for everybody? Because it's late.
It's pretty much modeled after.
Check in, troops. Let me know.
Be stuff we putting in the schools. We gotta teach. If we gotta teach.
And we're not going to see this whole clip. We don't need it. There's just some key things that they're talking about that is in line with what we were just discussing, and this is perfect to bring. It's perfect. Like it's perfection. Let's see. It's 10. That's and I really have to go to the bathroom. So we're going to find a restroom break for the Jedi here once I cue this video for y'all. Play.
Did you see that in Illinois, lawmakers have advanced a bill requiring teachers to teach LGBT history?
Like Black history?
Here's what it is. The proposal would mandate that elementary and high schools elementary and high schools teach a unit studying the role and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in the history of this country and this state.
It's pretty much modeled after the law that requires elementary and high schools to teach Black history.
Is this once again, Charles? Remember I told you that I don't know. I think I told you. Did you remember I told you about that cartoon of the what's my man Carlos? Golly, I can't. The Olympic pose.
Yeah, John Carlos.
John Carlos, and they did raise the Black Power fist. Mm-hmm. And there's a cartoon that came out, and now the LGBT community has swapped that out and put a rainbow flag, have him wearing a rainbow scarf. And
was he homosexual?
No. Or well, let me say I don't know. I don't know.
Why would they do that?
Because they are hijacking, in my estimation, the civil rights movement.
In the same way many other groups have hijacked the civil rights movement. There's no doubt about that. That has happened over these past 50 years. And we have been left in the dust.
Man, and if you look at the advances by the LGBT community compared to the Black community, it seems like they've been successful. You know, I used to think that equality meant Black people. Now, if you say equality, you are not talking about Black people, civil rights, etc. But my question now becomes, do we want our kids, it's mandated. So on the south and west sides of Chicago, where they can't even halfway figure out the books, and the air conditioning and the basic things that kids need. We got a new requirement that mandates that they teach LGBT history in our schools. Mandate.
The LBGT, because they got some other letters they put on there.
The alphabet soup.
There's something called queer and intersex now. I don't know what either mean, but anyway. The whole push of the movement was that they should not be treated any differently than anybody else just because of what they do in a bedroom, right?
Right.
Or who they love.
Right.
It has nothing to do with skin color or ethnic origin or anything like that.
We know that because you get shot.
What they do in the bedroom, that's what it is. It has not. If a gay person walked in this room, I would not know the person was gay. I wouldn't. Why? How would you? You have to ask, because there's no sexual activity going on in here, right?
Right.
It's just a person.
Right.
So why would we have to go beyond into your private moments in school?
See,
that's my piece.
See, that's that. The safe word is contradiction. The other word is hypocrisy. Because Charles, it seems to me the difference between black and gay, and I think you hit it, and pretty much anybody else we're easily identified, right? We have a history of being discriminated against at unprecedented levels. We were slaves. And now our legacy, once again, right? Our political capital, because, Charles, but what is the deal with, first of all, there's a couple things I want to know. First, I want to know who are the black legislators, right? Let's not even talk about the white folks up north. I want to know the list of black legislators, I want to know the list of black legislators. I want to know what the black community feels. And then I want it to be heard by the black legislators. And then we need to see who voted for it. I'm sorry, Charles.
I'm sitting there nodding because you're right on point. I want to know what the politics of this is. And if black lawmakers are on board with Senator Heather Staines, who apparently is sponsoring this bill. She's the same one, by the way, who's sponsoring legalizing recreational marijuana.
Damn!
But I want to know her colleagues in the Senate, there's about 10 of them, black colleagues, if they're on board with this. How are they going to vote? Are they going to vote with the party? With the party?
I want to stop and say this real quick. He brings exactly the point that burns in me. First of all, why do I need to know? And we're talking about sex. So, like he said, if somebody gay walk in the room, unless they do something gay, I'm not going to know. It's like Clark Kent. I don't know you, Superman, until you do something super. You see what I'm saying? I can't with it, but it is to hijack us, everybody. That's what you need to be left with. This is to hijack us. Whatever the micro politics of it is, and the micro details, and our own philosophies and feelings, the core that we need to take away from this is a hijacking. It's a hijacking. We'll just hear a couple more minutes of this and we'll be over it because we don't need it all.
Or the people!
Or their people.
And by the way, when he said the black legislators, everybody type what they are. You already know what I'm going to say. Who are the black legislators, everybody? Type it now. I'll wait. Type it. Type it. Who are the black legislators? You already know. Type it. Type it. Who are the black legislators?
I want to see that, and it will be a classic. It will be a classic for black voters to watch.
Hey Charles, check this out. Let me real hard because I just had an elected official hit me up and say, but check this out. These are the same people that say you can't pray in school.
Amen to that.
Think about that.
Yeah, but that's also constitutional.
I got you. I got you. But here's my thing. If we gonna be equal, if we gonna have rules and regulations and we gonna keep it out, let's keep it all out. Right. Let's teach the kids.
But this isn't religion.
I mean, I got you. I'm just saying. I feel like if it's gonna be stuff we putting in the schools, if we gotta teach LGBT.
Thank you, Reynaldo.
Charles. And I'm telling you right now, there is money being laid out right now.
Thank you, Reynaldo. You already know.
By the LGBT community, the very heavy funders that are about to go and tell every black legislator, if you don't vote for this, we whooping your ass.
That's right. That's what I think. That's where you say the rubber meets the road. I mean, that's where it's got to happen. That's where we got to keep our eyes open. We got to see what black people get behind this. Like, we have to understand if they understand, if they represent us.
Well, let's see what the black people think, Charles. Because you know what?
Do you gonna go Negrotific on me? Or
I don't know. Do we go Negrotific? Do we take calls? You know what? We go Negrotific the whole show. Hey, Tennille, let's make a poll too.
Okay, I'll bring it to a close there. Yeah, and let me go over here so I can see. I'll read the last of your comments, any new comments that have come in, etc., and we'll land it. But this is a problem. And if you're a parent who has a child going to school, you need to exercise and flex your muscle and show your fangs and let them know this is not cool. That you, the individual, are not cool with this and do not expose my children to this. Any and all sexual education and gender understanding that is given to my child will be given to them by our family and not by y'all. We don't need that. This is outside of the scope of what I consider to be prudent childhood education, and I am in full objection and prepared to bring a full class action lawsuit if you do a damn word of it. I'm over it. You see, that's what it should be, in my view. Because it's out of hand. Do you understand? It's out of hand. And it's inappropriate. Let's see. Just these last comments that I didn't read. Let's see. I'll start with light. It shouldn't be promoted in such ways. It should be kept private. Yeah. That's how it used to be done in the 80s and 1990s when I was a child. It was not advertised in public. It was kept private, as was everything, It just certain things, you don't put that out there. You just don't. It's just, you just don't. Do you understand? My Nigerian brother was telling me that in Nigeria, it's inappropriate. Like when you see a pregnant woman, you know how here we'd be like, oh, how far along are you? What do you do? That's inappropriate in Nigeria. It's simply not done. It's just not done. Like you're not the father and you're not the family. You're out of bounds. You see? It's just inappropriate. It's inappropriate. You see? And so that's a perfect example. So this is one of those things where it's just inappropriate. It's inappropriate. Remember, it used to be, whether you was gay or straight, public displays of affection just simply weren't something you did. You just didn't do that. All this tongue kissing and all that, you just didn't do that. Uh, Simone says this is why it's so important. This is why it's so much easier to say being gay is a choice since it's not how nature intended it to be. Uh, I understand what you're saying there. I can agree with that point. Yes. Uh, B1 says this is happening because most of the damn politicians are gay. And those that aren't are have a mistress and they're cheating and they got some scandal, you see. So I agree with that. Wow, what a requirement. Shaking my head. No God in school, but they find a way to mandate this. This is what pisses me off. I know, right? But it's like I always say, Ronaldo. They find a way to make shit happen when they want it to. When they don't, then they start asking all these questions. And we don't know how we do it, and how'd you pay for it, and who would do it, and we just know how to structure it, and nah. When they want something, they make it happen. It's another example. So I'm glad you bring that point. And thank you to you and Simone. You already know. You know what I'm saying? When they ask, who are these black politicians? Damn it. God damn it, ask black Christians. That's who they are. Melody says those rich white gays are funding Buttigieg. And just rich white in general, Melody, because how is it you're polling at 4%, but in the last quarter, you raised more money than everybody else in the race? Bernie came in at allegedly 18 million. Elizabeth Warren came in at 19 million. Kamala came in at 10, but you got 24 million and you're polling at 4% and you're not getting any African American vote. Because all the money because he's been to 50 something fundraisers. Fundraisers means big money, which means not you. I have to go to sleep. Remember the righteousness. Remember that righteousness will prevail. I'm right behind you, Timothy. I'm saying I'm getting these last comments out of the way. I'm gonna say my goodbyes, and I'm out, homie. So I'm saying I got stuff to do, kids. So I'm saying I gotta get my rest, kids. I get my rest, nigga. You know what I'm saying? My rest, nigga. Uh, um, Jedi says I just can't. I love that. I just can't. I love that. B1 says to Melody, true, going to keep it's going to keep contribute to their low birth weight rate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should be the one. Man, that's a good point. B1, they should be against it because they is having more deaths than births. They should definitely be against anything that continues to drive down their numbers. You feel me? Like, nah. Anyways, I want to say I apologize for the late hour of which I got started, but like I said, I didn't want to not keep my commitment to do this today. I thank all of you who came and toiled through with me and us. And we will continue. Tomorrow doesn't look good. Excuse me. But God willing, before we'll get another one in this week, like at a decent hour. You understand what I'm saying? But I thank all of you guys that showed up and participated. I say thank you to everybody who did and who is going to click that link and go to the GoFundMe and at least give $1. I thank you in advance. I love you guys. Thank you. Yeah. You know, it's like man, if you haven't watched it, let's see. Make sure you go and watch. Where is it? I'll put it in the, well, whatever. Whatever. I'll put it in the chat. But the video that I did, you guys, recently, that I had to end it because I just was, it was a lot of emotion on me, you know. But I mention it now because the last part of it, when I really went into it, was when I was reminding you that life is just one journey, you know. I need you to really think about that, you know, because all this that we're talking about now, even, and then some, when you allow yourself to be in a state of constant reminder that this is temporary, that you got one shot. There is no do-overs. There's no do-over. What was the name of that damn video? We're not the chosen people. Yeah, I think it's called I think I called it We're Not the Chosen People. I'll get you the actual title on it. What am I doing? Yeah, it's called, it says Powerful. We Are Not the Chosen People. That's the name of it. We're Not the Chosen People. You need to watch that. You need to watch that to reset yourself for the week. Even we'll start that small, just for the week. If you can, if you even start for the rest of your life, just to reset yourself for the week. Hear that video and see how that being in that consciousness affects your words and your deeds throughout this coming week. To just be in that space of the words that I proclaimed in that video. Do that. Do that. So I love you guys all. Again, I say thank you for coming and participating and hanging in there and being part of this stream. And God willing, we will be together soon. Even if I release a recorded video, I do have a recorded video that I'm going to release for you that I did about Shaquille O'Neal. But it's Shaquille O'Neal, but obviously the topic is something greater than him. You know, again, it is the Jedi. So obviously it's something more than that. But I'm going to release that. I think it's under an hour. It might be just over an hour, because I've done post editing. It's finished. It's done. It's ready. I'll release that next. And so watch that. But like I say, do watch the We Are Not the Chosen People video. It's here on the channel. And be infected and affected by that peace. I love you all. I'll see you soon.